Welcome back, everybody, to the final afternoon session. This is a double session. We first have a number of bioinformatics project update talks. This is a traditional talk slot section at BOSC to recognize that very often open source projects include incremental work. And it's not always something big and new, but this ongoing effort is still important and should be recognized. After that, we have some 5-minute lightning talks. And then we have a BOF session and the dinner and so on. Now, our first speaker was unfortunately ill and unable to travel. His colleague has very kindly pre-recorded audio and is going to be talking to us, taking questions via Skype. So, Eric, we're going to start the video now, and you can watch along and see what the audience react. I will go around and move the microphone and press start.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the organizers for allowing me to jump in at the last minute and deliver this talk on behalf of Luca Pandini. Luca was supposed to be here with us today, but unfortunately couldn't make it due to his health problems. I'll try to do as good job as possible to introduce you to the latest developments in BioMart. But before I do that, I'd like to give you a couple of minutes of intro to the project so that I could put all this into proper context. What is BioMart? Well, BioMart can be a different thing to different people. For some of them, this is an open source data federation system. For others, a powerful data annotation service. However, for me personally, BioMart is mostly about the BioMart community, the community that has set up many BioMart instances all over the world, and as you can see from this picture, has grown impressively over the years. In order to maximize benefits for the users, I have decided to take advantage of the BioMart Data Federation technology and set up the BioMart Central Portal that provides a single point of access to all these data. As a result, the biologist no longer has to trail through a million different GUI types spread all over the internet, but rather can use a single set of GUIs that are provided by the BioMart project. In a similar manner, the bioinformatician can use a single set of programmatic user interfaces, either directly or through a variety of third-party tools. And all this is possible because the BioMart software is capable of converting biological abstractions that are frequently fuzzy and complicated into a set of simple query abstractions. Using those query abstractions, it is then possible to navigate graphical user interfaces and programmatic interfaces as well. And although those abstractions are very simple, they have a lot of expression power. Using them, we can express any type of biological query, or for that matter, any type of query at all. Perhaps the most meaningful examples come from the papers that have been recently published by the BioMart community, and it provides the real-life examples of the usage of the data. And as you can see from those slides, the BioMart abstractions work quite well with Ensemble, the Mouse Consortium, Cosmic, and the Pancreatic Expression Database. I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is that BioMart is no longer just a geeky toy that is used by a bunch of developers for the recreational programming, but rather is a mature project that supports a large number of scientists in their everyday research activities. And this is what puts us in a rather comfortable position of trying to address the challenges in the biomedical research field that's been introduced by the next generation sequencing, which finally brings me to the new developments in the project. So moving forward, we have decided to invest in two key areas: web services and the tools. The web services have been cleaned up and made more consistent. We now have two different response types, and we have a unique web service endpoint for each request. So for instance, if you're interested in configuration metadata, this is where you'll be looking for your answers. And the responses, as I already mentioned to you, come into different formats. Using this information, you can either write your own BioMart client or simply use this information to compile your query. To make everybody's life easier, the querying in 07 and 09 remains the same. Moreover, we have decided to retain a very nice feature from 07 that allows you to bypass all the metadata interrogation. So if you're feeling very lazy, all you have to do is use one of the BioMart graphical user interfaces, provide all the required input, and let the GUI compile this query for you. The other key areas that we focus our recent efforts is the BioMart tools. The idea is to use the capabilities of the existing query engine and the richness of its data sources and then intercept the data as it travels between the query engine and its interfaces. This will allow us to build a new range of tools that will provide a more sophisticated interaction with the BioMart data. The first in the range of these tools and our pilot project is the Enrichment tool. This development is aiming to use as a reference ensemble data with all its many species and identifiers, and also put all the analysis types that are currently scattered around the web under single access points, such as gene lists, bed files, and homologies. All this functionality is accessible through this rather simple-looking interface. This simple interface, however, has a lot of built-in functionality. For instance, it is possible in a single step to start with any of the ensemble species and input either a gene list with many identifiers or a bed file, and then request an annotation of human disease. As a result, you'll be receiving a tabulated data supported by a nice graphic that is useful for your publication. And because this new tool is an integral part of BioMart, you can access it with programmatic interfaces. And for that, you don't have to learn anything new. You can still use the existing simple abstractions: dataset, filter, and attribute. What does the future hold? Well, for us it means more tools. We'll be starting prioritization, then moving to reporting tools, and then hopefully ending up with decision support system. Our short-term goals, however, is simply to improve the enrichment tool, like to improve its speed and the interaction with the graphics. The good news is that the new version is already implemented and is currently undergoing testing. We are hoping to be releasing it very soon. Just before I finish, I'd like to thank the host organizations for providing funding for our project. My special thanks go to the BioMart community for the relentless building of new data sources and all the support throughout the years. The BioMart developers for the many contributions to the BioMart codebase. And finally, to the heroes of the latest round of development, Paolo and Luca from the Center for Translational Genomics and Bioinformatics and San Raffaele Research Institute in Milan, Italy. Just to finish my presentation, I'd like to encourage you to have a look at our new fancy website that we released 2 months ago. It contains all the information about the project, contains the links to its publications, to the software, and to the mailing list. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them there. For any other questions, I'll be very glad to answer now. Thank you.
We will now attempt to switch the video so you can see him. On here, probably.
Anyone's using the Wi-Fi? Could you pause for a minute? Just download the phone. Anyone got questions? Can you come to my head already? Right, we're going to do Manly, it's going to be on my phone. Manly, you're going to watch through my phone. So that I hear you won't be on the big screen. So,
Okay.
any questions? Well, I had one. One of the features that our users are interested in is BioMart Galaxy integration. We didn't talk about that, or if you did, I missed it because I was worrying about the Skype. Can you say a few words about that? Oh,
Well, this is something that
we can't hear you.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, okay, so this is something that was put in place a very long time ago when I was still at the European Bioinformatics Institute. We were approached by the Galaxy guys at some point, and basically we provided the integration of the Galaxy based on the old 07 software.
So I guess some of the Galaxy guys might have some advice updating things because they're always changing stuff. I know because I do work with Galaxy. Do we have any other questions or a round of applause for our speaker? No questions? Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.